Why does equity work have to start with honest conversations? Like what happens when we try to skip and jump straight to action?
Right. And so when we engage in honest conversations, I'm able to see who you are and you are able to see who I am. And we're able to break down barriers. And what we often find is that we're more alike than we are different. Um, you know, back at, I guess it was late 2020, my family and I, we took a road trip, a very extended road trip during
Mhm.
COVID, for 14 months. And we were on the road in places that I don't know that I ever envisioned myself going, if I'm going to be honest.
Hey, I
And
remember asking you, where are you today? And you could tell me one was somewhere in the middle of South Dakota.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a
It's
place that I never, it was
right,
not even on my radar to go visit, right?
right.
And if I'm being honest, I had all of these conceptions about these different places and what the people would be like there, and how would my family and I be received, and I don't know that there was a place. We visited 18 different states, and some states more than once. I don't know that we really had any negative interactions with people,
Mm.
uh, which is surprising because that's so different from the narrative that you hear every day. We did have one, I take that back.
I was
But
going to remind you of that one, but cool.
but the majority of them were so amazing, and I think that speaks to the fact that we actually are more alike than we are different. And so if you put us in the woods and you strip away all of the random stuff that we think divides us, what we realize is that we have a lot in common. And I think that, you know, you don't know that unless you have conversations. So I can listen to the news and I can make assumptions about who you are based on the flag that's flying off of the back of your RV or the bumper stickers that you have going on. But a whole new world opens up when we start having conversations with each other. So that's not just true on the open road, that's true in schools, it's true in board meetings, like all of these places where we find ourselves pitted against one another because we assume that this person shows up this way or this person believes this, which is, diametrically opposed to what I believe. But when you start having those conversations, even the things that we disagree on, we're not actually like that far off as much as we'd like to think or as much as we're led to believe. And so I think that when we have the opportunity to have honest conversations, we're able to see where each other where everyone is. We're able to lean in with curiosity. And I keep talking about curiosity because I think it's so important. A lot of times we are fueled by emotions when we go into conversations, but it's the wrong emotions. So we're fueled by like anger and frustration and resentment. But like, what if we chose to be led by curiosity? So you just did this thing or you said this thing that was really weird. I'm
Mhm.
curious, like what is going on here? And not from a place of judgment. And I've really had to learn how to suspend that. But like I'm genuinely curious, like what what experiences have you had in your life that would like bring this dynamic about? And how can we get to the root of all of this so that we can see each other as human beings and engage accordingly, as opposed to us just building up mountains of assumptions about each other that aren't helpful because it's an assumption. It may or may not be true, but when we give people an opportunity to speak for themselves, to share their narratives, to share their story, I think a lot of the things that we thought were true, we realize aren't
Mm.
always. Sometimes they are, but not always. And I think that opens a door for us to really like develop relationships, which is what restorative practices is all about. Like it's an opportunity for us to build community, for us to build relationships. And so now when we're in the work and things are a little bit challenging or they're a little bit difficult, it's not so easy for me to just write off you and everything that you just said because we have a relationship. We've built a community. And so the emphasis is on figuring out a solution for our own personal dynamic, but also the bigger thing that we are working to address. So yeah, long way of saying it has to start with a conversation.